Yes. So, postal workers aren't allowed to send their letters, doing that connection, breaking off that connection that I was talking about. But it's everywhere though, isn't it? It's this incremental taking of our power, this increasing of the size of the state, which is all planned, I can assure you. All this is planned by that very small group of international bankers who are pulling all the strings, creating this bigger state, which of course takes away power from you, the individual. It takes away from your family, it takes away from your community, and it takes away from your nation, so that none of those things exist, and so that only the state exists. And of course this is the great danger. And as we know, everything must be known, and that includes every family, every individual, and every nation must have its identity, and you cannot have a structure, social structure, bigger than a nation. As soon as you're doing that, it's going wrong. And if you have a top-heavy state, you're also losing out. The balance of power is gone, and you're losing out, and you're not being true to yourself. So you're not being, everything isn't being known, and the lid is over you. I mean, one of the things that the big state likes to do is create an atheist situation, or at least an ambivalent feeling towards God, as if it doesn't exist. I mean, that's even worse, isn't it? Forget atheism, forget anything to do with it. It's when people aren't even thinking about it is the problem. It's just as if it's the state, there's nothing else. There's me and the state that says this, says that, does that. Never tells the truth. You only have to follow their promises. They are never fulfilled in the way certainly not in the way they say. I mean, how many promises do they give us that are true? How many lies do they spread? And of course, when we look to them for our answers, and they are run not on the principles that you might get from a true religion, they're run on other things, which are greed, which are materialism, which are control. When you get them in charge, you're the sunflower field. You've got the big lid over, and you're going down all the nooks and crannies. You're corrupted. You haven't got that link. You haven't got that thing that can draw you forward. So what can we do? Well, first of all, we can. I think it's where is it? I read somewhere that if you where was it? I'm not even going to give you that quote because I don't know what it is. Basically, it's something about it's okay to rebel. It's rebel against tyrants. You've got to do that, because tyrannical rule is not God's rule, and what we're meant to have is rule over us that's sanctioned by the true nature of things, the proper order, the true order, which you could say is God's law, if you like. And if they're not following that, that means we've got, again, the big lid between us, and it's up to us to get that lid out of the way, so once again we can look at the sun like the sunflowers. So what else do we do? So we can begin to be very aware of that, and we can begin to resist it, obviously and essentially in a peaceful way, in a way that we open our minds and hearts and just say a firm no when we don't like particular laws coming in. Begin to resist them. Say, no, we're not doing that. We're not having that. That's what we have to do in order to retain or re-establish our connection with that sun, as it were. Other things, well, I'm doing a little bit as well. I've just released a book that you can download. You can download the Astrology of God, of course, free, which is essential which is very important for anybody who really wants to think about, their connection with God. Find the clues that are all around us. Find that essence. It's absolutely essential for that if you want to work at it, and it's well worth working at because it'll free you up. Now, the other thing is, whilst the Astrology of God can be a tough read at times and takes a lot of effort, so don't read it thinking, oh, it's just going to take half an hour with a cup of coffee. It can take a long time, and it takes a lot of effort, and it takes a lot of, probably it's helpful to have discussion with friends, watch these videos, because I'm always trying to bring it up. Another book that I've released actually, which is on davidkamay.com, you can download a sample of that for nothing. It's quite a few pages, get you an idea what it's about. But what it's about is about this priest, or he's in charge of the priests at the temple. And of course the temple is falling down, this big solid rock temple. It's all falling down, and Axel, his name is, and he's a bit worried about it, and then he meets up with Ajiksun. You'll see what Ajiksun's all about. And then Ajiksun says, you know, forget the big rocky heavy temple, how about this tent, the tent of life? Hence the book's called The Tent of Life. And in the tent of life they go on a journey. They don't actually go anywhere because they're in the tent, but it takes them on this journey. And in there they answer, there are several questions asked, you know, like what happens at death and so on. And it's told in a allegorical way, fairy tale-y sort of way, and a parable sort of way, if you like. The whole book is a series of stories, a series of answers to questions like, you know, what happens at birth, what happens at death, what's the point, what's the point in religion, and so on, that sort of thing. So do have a look at that. And of course, when you read things like that, then you begin to open up anyway. And the thing is about that book also, it was written very much with an overview understanding of the astrology of God, with a very overview. So it's a good one to start with, and also I think children could read it quite easily, and it'll help them along. So do take a look, download the sample, have a look, see what you think, and please buy your copy. It's an ebook copy available for only $2.99, and then, you know, by buying that you're helping me continue and improve, which I need to do. $2.99. Let me tell you about $2.99. There's a fairground. That's £2.99, which is probably, I don't know, about $5 or something in the US. Anyway, so $2.99. There's a fair, because we have this. This is a small town, and a fair comes to it a couple of times a year. It's just finished its last showing in the autumn showing, and on there you can get in a seat. You get in a seat, and you can go round and round and round really fast. And you know, then it goes up and down and things. You know, so you're going upside down and spinning around, and you've got this really loud music, speakers right near you. And you do that. You go round and round and round, upside down, spinning around for probably about 2 minutes or 3 minutes at the most. Sometimes you don't actually have to go upside down because you can go on the other things that go round and round. But each ride on these things is about £3 or £4, which is more expensive. I think it is. Which is more expensive, I'm pretty sure it is, than the book, the copy of The Tent of Life. So there you go. I just thought I'd let you know that. Very interesting. You can read this book and get all the sort of insight, and yet people still pay £3 to go upside down spinning around, which of course is fun. I did my fair share of going spinning around, going upside down, and all that sort of thing. But I just want to get it in, you know, get it into context. So there we are. There is a couple of little things. So that book is also, it's like a little bit of the sunshine for you, helps you connect with the sun like a sunflower. And yeah, and it's very important you get on to thinking about this stuff, to understanding the nature of the solar system, and it's also very important that you give me your feedback. Please don't write gigantic letters or emails, because I don't have a great deal of time. Just a bit of feedback, just a bit of comment, that is always helpful. Encouragement's always helpful. All that sort of thing is very good, and it helps me feel as though we're connecting out there, and it also helps me get reference points into how I can, you know, move ahead with this. Okay, good. So there you go. There's a little video for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I tell you what, it really isn't that difficult to remove the lid from above you. And you know what happens, don't you, when you take that lid off over the flowers that you're growing, and they're all doing that. You just take the lid off. This is what happens, right? You take all that materialism, all that distraction, all that stuff away, all that fear about economies and so on. I don't think there should be economists, actually. I think it's very, very simple. You just don't spend more than you earn, and that's it. And there's so much, all these people talking in this doublespeak language, baffling people. And so people say, oh, I leave it to you, the economists and the politicians. We shouldn't be doing that. We should know how simple it is to live life. For example, you take the big, elaborate lid off the flowers, off the sunflowers, and they're all curled up and runted and twisted and corrupt. But you take that lid off, and then it does not take long, does it, for them to realign, to grow, to know where that sun is, to get strong again, to get their roots growing deeply into the soil, to remove all the corruption, which is their weird shapes that they're doing, and to grow straight once again. It doesn't take much. It just takes this big, elaborate, hilarious, deceitful lid off, and then you grow. That's all it needs. But of course, you've got to know what that is. Our lid taking off is for us to know that there is God, for us to know the nature of God, for us to bring it into our lives in a way that it's not restrictive, so that we can be strong again as well. And we are going to be doing that so we can be ourselves, just like those sunflowers are themselves at the end of their session with the sun. They are themselves. They are individuals, as far as we're concerned. They are families. They are nations. And there is a balance of power, and power is shared out. And there isn't a drive only for the materialist world. There is a drive only, ultimately, for the divine. That's the top, which doesn't preclude all the fun in between, of course. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. I'm not doing any more fanfares here, and I'll be back here very soon. Enjoy your day, enjoy your moments, read, and turn the television off and talk to your friends as well. I'll speak to you very soon.